Yes, it's true. I can't see anyone from here, so it's easier. No computer, no music, no slides, and I'm the only thing that stands between you and the break and the lunch. So I appreciate it. I'll do my best to be very, very, very quick until my slides come. And we will, although I'm Bulgarian, we'll have to talk in English, just for the sake, for us to understand each other. Before I start, just want to tell you, feel free to interrupt me at any time with any question you may have. And before I begin, let me say a few words about the company I represent and about myself. So I represent IBM. I'm sure that you have already heard many times about IBM, because IBM has been established in 2011. We have 104 years history, and in this region, in Belgrade, we have had office since 39. In my country, in Bulgaria, we have had office since 36. So IBM has shaped 4 generations of talented engineers that come from this region, and then they are doing lots of innovation all around the world. One such example of a bright, innovative mind is actually Sashka Mojsilovic, who is native from this region and works in one of our biggest laboratories in the US, shaping the cognitive future of information technologies and of the world. So a lot of history. Don't ask me what products are we selling, because from the portfolio of 2,000 products that we are selling, we love to call ourselves a company that's engaged with innovation for enterprise. So what do I have to tell you about and what's the link between communications and IBM? And the link is that in today's world of digital technologies, of social media and internet, communication really needs to change and really needs to transform based on new technologies. So a few words about myself. As I said, I'm Bulgarian, and I wanted to show you actually 3 pictures that shaped my life and the way how I am. And this is a picture with Fidel, long time ago, because I grew up in Cuba. A picture with Soros, because at some point of time I was appointed at Open Society Foundation in Sofia, and this has helped me learn a lot. And then the third and most precious picture in my albums is the picture from Watson Laboratory, where Sashka Mojsilovic works, a picture with IBM Watson. Maybe you know that IBM Watson was our cognitive system that was trying to play a sort of a Who Wants to Be a Billionaire game called in US Jeopardy, and Watson won. I tried to play with Watson. I didn't score well, telling you. So what does have all to do with communications? I wanted to show you a video because I was told that I need to shorten the presentation so that we are on time for lunch. I'm not going to show you this video, but I want to encourage you to go to Eric Quellman's webpage. The link is my presentation, so you may get it in the handouts. And look for Social Media Revolution series. So every year, this bright mind, who is a really bright digital mind, is having a new series of videos showing the impact of social media and of the fact that 7 billion people are connected over the internet, and how does the impact on how we communicate, how we do business, how we go for leisure. So, just to tell you, that's a Mac, and IBM has a partnership with Apple. And the fact that I cannot get it right immediately is here just to show that people still matter for technologies. So it's very important, no matter what technology stands behind you or in your hands, it can never go well enough or quick enough if the person is not the right one behind the computer. So I'll have to entertain you. Does it? Okay. Good. we are here. So in the video, if you go to the video of Eric Quellman I was just talking about, you'll see a very interesting statistic. So if Facebook would be a country today, this would be the third biggest country in the world. It shows a statistic that, for example, the average attention span of a person is 7 seconds, while for the goldfish, it's 8 seconds. It shows a statistic that at the moment there are more mobile and smart devices than toothbrushes in the world. So what does this mean? And what does this mean for us as communications? It means, actually, that we have been, in the last 2 years, we've been flooded by data. We've been producing data. Actually, we've generated, in the last 2 years, 2.5 quintillion bytes of data. For those of you who are not familiar with numbers, quintillion is 1 with 18 zeros. And this amount of data equals to 500 million high-definition movies being downloaded over the net. Being flooded with data doesn't mean we became smarter. It just means that we are somehow in a chaos, that our nice balance from before that was top-down, in order, strictly controlled from message perspective and from every perspective, all this comfort has gone. And we are now in the middle of an information avalanche. Another statistic that from this video and also from IBM studies show that actually before 80% of the people decide on a purchase before, actually 80% of the decision to buy something new is made before you meet someone or the vendor or the company you are going to buy from. What does this mean? It means that in order for companies or for communicators to have their message heard, they really need to establish the long-term relationship, to identify their stakeholders, their audiences, and to establish their communications long before these audiences or these people have decided to be in touch with your company. So, from the past, we used to live in comfort when there were less writers, many readers. This past has gone. Now, what we are experiencing with is that there are far too many writers. Everyone who is on the net writes. Where did the readers go? Did you ask yourself how many times did you go deep dive on reading on the posts you are sharing from your friends or from your colleagues whom you trust? We are all sharing so much and so quickly that it's actually impossible for us to go deep dive, explore the information we are having, understand it, and get an insight out of it. So what does this mean for us? It means that actually we have to change, because probably you have this in your offices, and maybe you've seen it and you've experienced it when your manager tells you, I don't need any more communications professional. Now I go on Facebook, I go on Twitter, and I'm done, and my message is heard. Well, this was the past. The future is that it's, and the future which comes from internet, from local media, from social media, and from the fact that we are all connected as a small village, it actually brings and calls for a new mandate for us as communications professionals. So the theory on how this mandate should perform in the future is on this slide. So media-wise, the theory says that we need to go from the audience to establishing of a community of peers. Brand-wise, we need to go from push to pull strategies. Market-wise, we market platforms, not products. We establish platforms where we create these kind of ecosystems where people are encouraged to share their experiences and to help us shape our product, our services, or whatever we have to tell and sell to our audiences. Individual-wise, we are becoming from readers to writers, from consumers to creators. Organizational-wise, we go from top-down, strict hierarchies to networks. Do you know what does it mean for us in IBM, for example? In IBM, we have an internal network. From this internal network, basically, I can go, open a chat window, and ask our chairman, Ginny Rometty, how does she feel today? There is nothing that could stop me doing this. In the same, and of course I'll never do this for one reason or the another, but what I would do is, for example, I would use our internal platform to post my successes or to post the successes of my team in order to make not only my line manager aware of what we are doing and how great we are, but entire ecosystem in the Central and Eastern Europe. In this way, I'm positioning my team, myself, and it goes far beyond the hierarchical networks or the strict reporting lines. Culture-wise, it goes from control to empowerment. Behavior-wise, it goes from need to know to need to share. So that's a dramatic and cultural shift. It doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen. And it's actually, it's much easier said than done. And it will take years and years until the old behaviors are forgotten and until the new behaviors become a standard. But shall we just stay and do nothing until then? Or shall we try to reposition ourselves, our profession, and the standard of marketing and communications in the society? So, of course, everyone here would agree with me that we should go and aim high. And we should go and we should be the first one to tell, look, there is a new reality. This reality directly impacts the work of marketing and communications professionals. And here is how we as professionals see this reality. In essence, if communications before was seen more like support function, more like a function that is in charge of creating the message, pushing it, spamming people with the message, the role, and it's on us to live this, to make it happen, and to establish it as a standard. So it's on us to show that we are far, far, far beyond the message creation, and we are actually we earn and deserve a very solid place in the management board where business strategies are defined. So how are we going to prove this? By leveraging the changes in the technology in the world and by attempting to identify, establish, and work with our networks of influence, with the networks that are part of the entire ecosystem our organization works with. Again, this is much easier said than done, but that's the principle, because by establishing the right networks, the right orbits, and by being aware about social gravity rules, we already gain, and based on the all data that we are flooded with, we are able to identify these networks, to start working with them, and to design these kind of communication strategies that would enable us to reach out our audiences and, remember, to establish long-term relationship, because we know that our clients, potential clients, may have decided to buy on a product that we are offering long before they know we exist. So that's why it's important for us to enable the right networks, to be present there, and to enable this culture of sharing and of collaboration and of communication, which should help society and people perceive our messages, our services, and our products in a positive way. Is this easy? No. Can we start today? Yes. How do we start? Look around you. Go back to your office and look in your colleagues. If I go back in our office, I should look at something like 400,000 people. These are the IBMers across the world. For some companies, it's easier, because when you look at 20 people and those are your colleagues, it's much easier to go for a drink and beer and decide that this is our positioning, these are our messages, these are our channels, and this is how each of our colleagues is going to act and interact with their families, friends, and networks in order to build a perception, and good perception, for the message the company has to offer. Let me tell you how did we in IBM do this something like 10 years ago. Before, I'm able here to stand in front of you and tell you about this successful case study, we were never sure that it can work in this way. But back in 2003, we set up a so-called Values Jam, which is a technology online platform which gathered more than 150,000 people that for 3 days talked among each other, brainstormed, and came up with a very solid and very data-proven decision on what are the main values for all IBMers around the world. So out of this session, jam session, we came up with 3 values that have never changed since then, since we all agreed that these are our values. Our products changed. We divested here, invested there, established IBM Watson as the cognitive system of the future, but our values remained the same. 2 years ago, we made another session. This time, we were much more confident in the way how we do these online brainstormings, and we invited our clients and our partners. And we said, what are the things, the situation changed, technologies changed, what are the things that are important for countries, for societies, for clients, for partners, and employees in terms of behaviors? And we collectively came up with this framework of values and behaviors that are our code of ethics, our mantra, our religion across the world. You will not see any IBMer in Tokyo, in Belgrade, or in Peru that would not know about these behaviors, that would not live them. So that's actually, and when you have this kind of powerful network, it's very easy to use this network in a way that's beneficial for company and company values. And when I say use, it doesn't mean that you are able to send a note to 400,000 people and say, tweet about that. What I am saying is that these people feel free to express their point of view, their opinions, internally and externally. And by this, they influence this spirit of innovation and spirit of collaboration that goes much beyond IBM boundaries. And that's something that's extremely powerful. So I leave you with this example, telling you that actually it's very difficult to set up an innovation jam or values jam or client jam with 400,000 people. And it's much easier to do this with 200, 100, or 20 people. So, and this is a network. You can start experimenting right away after you are back from this wonderful event today at home. So I'm leaving you with this greeting. It was a privilege for me to speak in front of you. If you have any questions, I'm ready to answer. If not, the lunch is in front of us. And remember, people always matter more than technology.